guys, I'm Maddie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a recap of May. When I'm filming this, this is Monday, June the 3rd. So we're gonna go over my budget that I set in May and how my spending reflected that. The books I read, my screen time, which I am very shocked by and disgusted, quite frankly. I also want to give a recap of my 75 hard and where I'm at right now, some of my fitness and nutrition goals or how that went, if my actions reflected what I had set at the beginning of the month, how my sobriety has gone and how social situations have been since being sober, and my anxiety and depression, how all of that relates together. We're just going to go through and chat about how May went, because to be fair, it was a pretty good month. Like, a lot of things happened in the month. It went by extremely fast, and yeah, it was just a good month. Nothing negative really happened, I don't think, from my memory at least, but let's just get right into it. Let's start with my screen time, because I spend over 5.5 hours a day on my phone, which averages to be about 40 hours a week. I spent a whole work week on my phone. What? Yeah, so that's great. That was a very big eye-opener for me, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of long YouTube videos I have playing in the background when I'm doing stuff, but I also catch myself in the in-between moments scrolling on my phone, scrolling Facebook, just popping onto YouTube shorts for a few minutes. Just a lot, like when I'm waiting for things, while I'm waiting for a video to upload onto my laptop, when I'm waiting for a pot of water to boil. Just those in between, I forget what those moments are called. There's like a term for them. But that is when I find myself just randomly scrolling to distract myself. Like, I can't just sit for a minute or two with my own thoughts, just not doing anything. I fill that void with scrolling on my phone, and I want to become more aware of that and to not do that as often, and to be comfortable just doing nothing, sitting in the silence, being okay with the uncomfortableness of not always being stimulated or activated in one way or another. This is really bad to admit, but I scroll a lot when I'm driving. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but I do. Driving home from work, because it's like a 45-minute drive, and I think a lot of us do it. More of us than we'd like to admit, but I don't want to do that anymore. I do not want to be on my phone while driving. I want to be able to put on a podcast or an audiobook and leave my phone and forget it. And it's not necessarily having notifications on, because I don't get any notifications besides text messages. It's just a habit that I've gotten into, and a really bad one at that. And for legal purposes, I allegedly do it. Let's get into the books that I read, because I read 3 books. 3 freaking books this month. The first book I finished this month was First Lie Wins. I have a whole YouTube video on about it. Honestly, I'm not going to go too in depth in my reading because it was a bullshit month for me. So First Lie Wins was a thriller. There's a recap video on my channel about it. Second book was A Fate Inked in Blood. That was a romantasy. Really enjoyed it. It's by a Canadian author. I think I also have a video about that one too. And then the final one was The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. That was a 5-star read. Loved. It was so heart-wrenching, so sad. It was about like a military dude coming back and needing to be there for a single mom who has a set of twins, and one of them has cancer, and just going through the heartbreaking turmoil of a kid with cancer and a single mom and all of that. I just finished that book a few days ago. It's still very much on my mind. Definitely recommend you go read it. Yeah, it not really changed my life, but it was like, I was really emotionally connected to those characters, and it felt good. That kind of is getting me out of my reading slump. I want to read more now because of that book. I liked feeling the connection to the characters. It was so wonderful. But yeah, those were the 3 books I read. Let's chat about 75 Hard. This is my tracking sheet. Today, June 3rd, marks my 20th day doing this. So that's very, very exciting. And all of the blue is when I have successfully completed each task. The pink represents a rest day. And if you can notice, I only have one white circle, and that is taking my supplements on the 1st of June. Not making up any excuses, but I had a raging headache, so I literally just went to bed. Like I could have taken them, but I was just so in so much pain mentally, like from my headache, that I just crawled into bed and didn't even do it, which whatever, it is what it is. For me, my 6 non-negotiables for my 75 hard is doing 1 walk and working out 5 times a week. So my workouts can either be some sort of cardio or strength training. And one of those, like my walk or my workout, has to be outside. Usually it's my walk, but sometimes I walk on the treadmill and then work out outside or go for an outdoor run. And then taking supplements. So I take magnesium and fish oil, no excessive sugar, mostly like no binging, no going ham on the chocolates or anything. Reading 1 chapter of a nonfiction book. I don't have a page limit because I like to read in chapters. I don't stop in the middle of a chapter. So at least 1 chapter of a book, and no alcohol. Honestly, the easiest for me is probably the no alcohol, honestly, because I'm trying to go a year sober. I started my sobriety on April 15th. So that was about a month before I started my 75 hard. So I've already been in it and getting used to that routine. And the hardest for me is probably reading a chapter of a nonfiction book, because as much as I do love nonfiction, I am a sucker for fiction book. Like that is my holy grail. So if I read a nonfiction book, sometimes it's hard for me to want to pick up my nonfiction. But right now I'm reading You Are a Badass. I am really enjoying that book. I have started it before, but I never finished it. And I think I'm finally getting to the point where it's new and I'm not just rereading. Another one that's pretty hard for me is sometimes doing my walk, because it's like spring. Is it still spring or is it summer now? Whatever. But it's been really rainy here, so trying to find like little pockets during the day when it's like okay to go outside has been hard. But overall, the only thing I missed is taking my supplements that one day, and I'm very proud of myself. I'm not starting over, and I'm trying to take a progress picture about once a week, give or take. So that's been going pretty well, and weighing myself once a week too-ish. But yeah, 75 hard, I'm crushing it. I'm like about just over a quarter of the way through. So I only have to do what I did 3 more times. That's how I look at things. Even when I'm walking on the treadmill, if I'm like walking for 45 minutes and I hit the 15-minute mark, I'm like, okay, I just have to do those 15 minutes 3 more times. Does anyone else do that? I guess we can talk about exercising, because it feels so good to be back on this. I tried to be a runner, but I think just deep down, I don't enjoy running as much as I enjoy strength training and like lifting weights and stuff. I just love seeing my muscles get bigger, like in the definition. I'm starting to see my arms and my legs and my stomach get a little tighter, and it feels good being able to track my weight. Like how much I'm lifting and stuff like that. It feels so good. So my current split is, usually it works out Thursdays and Sundays are my rest days. Mondays are fasted cardio. Tuesdays are usually a lower body. Wednesdays are an upper body. And then Friday is another fasted cardio. And then Saturday is either legs or arms, depending how I'm feeling. Most times it's arms, because I can't, like my leg muscles are pretty sensitive, to be honest, and I can't push myself too hard with my legs or else I will be extremely sore. So usually I end up doing 2 upper body days and 1 lower body day, and then 2 fasted cardio days, which is just me walking on the treadmill at a 10 incline and a 3 speed for about 45 minutes. And trust me, I get a good sweat on, because I usually wear shorts, a t-shirt, and then I put like a crew neck over top, and just mostly to get my heart rate up, and oh baby, I sweat. My food. Let's talk about food, because I'm super proud of this. I haven't binged in 20 days. Almost a month binge free. pat on the back, round of applause. I am boosting myself up. I am hyping myself up because I don't know the last time I went this long without a binge. And it is solely because of 75 Hard. Because that is what's holding me accountable, and because I'm recording and documenting my journey. I don't want to bullshit you guys. I don't want to bullshit myself. I want to be accountable and honest and transparent. And the ego pride in me doesn't want to come on here and admit that I binged, because not that it would be embarrassing, but I just don't want to do that. I want to show myself I can do hard things. I can go 75 days without a binge. After those 75 days, sure, whatever, go ham, go nuts, go ballistic, but for 75 days, I'm not gonna binge. I can do it. I can do it. I've been really focusing on balanced meals, really thinking about what I'm eating and consuming, and it feels great. I feel so good. So, so good. Anyways, that's that. I just pumped myself up there, hyped myself up, so do that for you too. You did it. You can do it. I believe in you. Let's talk about socializing, especially while sober. So May was a pretty big month, not gonna lie. I had 2 big social events back-to-back weekends. The first was a hospital gala, which it happens annually, and last year when I went to it, I got obliterated. I was so drunk. And then this year, I didn't drink at all, and it was so hard. I have a video talking about this as well. But it was very difficult not to drink. That really tested my sobriety. I almost slipped up. I swear I was so close, but I didn't. And I'm so proud of myself because I know I would be pretty upset and hard on myself if I did slip up then, but I didn't. I stuck to my guns, and again, very proud of myself. I did microdose before that event, so I took like mushrooms, psilocybin, and that helped. Microdosing does help me to be more social and kind of brings my walls down and just lets me really be present and in the moment. So I appreciate that, except I have taken all my capsules now because on Friday, this most recent Friday, I went to a music concert and I microdosed for that as well. That was so much easier not to drink there because drinks were $10 a piece. So like, that is so expensive, and $10 for a Cottage Springs, no thank you. I'd rather save my money and go buy something else that I actually like and will be sustainable and like last in my life, not just for a night of drinking. To be honest, that's just my outlook on it. But yeah, and then the music concert was really good. Went with like kind of a new group of people, and it was a lot of fun. I'm very glad I microdosed for that as well. Again, it just let me kind of sink into the moment, be really present with what was going on. I was very irritated at the music concert, not gonna lie, because I was just with a bunch of drunk people, and drunk people are annoying as fuck. And I can say that because I have been that drunk person time and time again. So now it's my turn to be annoyed with them because I used to annoy the living shit out of people. So this is just karma coming back full circle. It was great though. Like Dean Brody played and I love him. I was really just able to focus on the music and just have a great time. But I'm learning to not be as irritated and annoyed because that just ruins the moment, and it is what it is. Now let's talk about money, because this was one of my biggest goals, and that was to do like a no spend month. And honestly, I stuck to it pretty good and stuck to my budget that I set for myself. I broke things down into 6 different categories. So I'll tell you the category and then how much I spent versus what I budgeted. So the first was gas. I allocated $650 and I actually spent $596. Food and groceries, I had a budget of $200 and I spent $304 because I wasn't planning on buying protein powder and like pre-workout, but I did. And if I didn't buy that, then I would have been under budget, but regardless, I bought it. So I was over budget by about $104. Bills, I budgeted $60 and I spent $61 because I didn't realize I was getting my annual Visa bill, but that was $4, so whatever. Experiences, I allocated $150 and I only spent $26. Not sure why I budgeted so much, but I did. And then personal, I allocated $75, but I spent $190, so over double. And then miscellaneous, I gave myself $75, but I actually spent $96. And then insurance and TFSA was $185 and $75 respectfully. What's that word? Whatever. Anyways. $185 for insurance, $75 for TFSA, and then that comes to a grand total of $1,533. So yeah, I stuck to my budget. I stuck to my budget pretty well. There's definitely some things in there that I probably didn't need to buy, but I did, and it is what it is. But I didn't go crazy on anything, so proud of myself for that. And yeah, I just had a good month. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say. May was just a good month. I didn't have any super depressed days. I was pretty level in my mood. I don't know. May was a good month. I don't want to like analyze it too closely because looking back, I'm like, yeah, there are definitely things I could have improved on, especially my reading and my screen time. That's one thing I really want to focus for June. I guess we can get into some June goals. Keeping up with 75 hard, keeping up with my exercise and nutrition. All that's kind of just a given. Some specific things I would like to do. I would really love to go to the beach this month. I think that should be able to happen. Even if I go by myself one morning before chores, I would love to do that. So go to the beach, stick to my budget, read more, and keep my screen time under 4.5 hours a day. So that means knocking off 1 full hour each day, which I think I can do, especially if I stop going on my phone while driving, because that counts for like an hour and a bit of my day. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have anything else. I think I would like to get my sleep, like a nighttime routine, more established because I don't really have one of those. I have a pretty good morning routine, but my nighttime routine is kind of all over the place. So I'd like to narrow in on that as well. Anyways, I think that's it for this video. I don't have much more to say, but thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!